Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Right before Friday video. I'm always love Thursday evenings because Friday's right there, and it's so exciting to be have one day to go left in the week, and then you got the weekend. So today, actually, and we're gonna play some 5 minute per use, but I'm also gonna sort of have a challenge, and basically my challenge is gonna be for every game that I play. My first three moves are going to be pawn moves. And it's not because this is necessarily a smart thing to do or anything. I just sort of want to challenge myself a little bit more in addition to speaking. So every single game I'm going to play, the first three moves are going to be pawn moves. And then we're going to see how that goes after that. So let's see how that turns out. So while we wait on this queue, I'm going to just talk about basketball real quick. The Warriors, yes. I'm going to talk about the Warriors a lot. They're the team to beat, I would say, in the West. I cannot wait to see the game tonight. Warriors Thunder. You know, Russell Westbrook is on a tear. Like he's shooting 40 times a game, and doing it well. I might add, not the percentages, but getting these massive triple doubles. All right, so I said 3 pawn moves a game. So C4. Okay, so I'm gonna play E6. That's one. And then D5, and then knight C3. D5 is gonna be my second pawn move. And then D4, and then I'm going to make one more pawn move, A6. Okay, and I sort of fulfilled my requirements. And now this is basically a Queen's Gambit type of setup. And E3 I'm happy to see because now the bishop on C1 has to develop on a different diagonal. So knight F6, knight F3. I'm going to go knight B, D7. I sort of want to transpose to a Queen's Gambit. And yeah, here's what now after bishop d3 I can play d takes c4, and the point is after bishop takes c4, b5, I essentially sort of gained half a tempo on the bishop, because if I took right away on c4 when the bishop was on f1, I wouldn't have gained that extra tempo, but by making it go bishop d3 first, it's almost like it wasted a move. And now I go c5 and attack that center, and then bishop b7, and I have really fluid development here. My bishop's going to go to e7, my rook's going to go to c8, I'm going to castle, and black should just be absolutely fine. So, what to do? Decisions. Let me go rook c8. Rook d1, okay, and now bishop e7, or maybe queen b6, or I don't know. Or bishop b7. It's important not to be low on time. That's what I've learned over the past few weeks. Just try to be up on time. That's sort of a key thing. Okay, e4 I expected. Now c takes d4. Knight takes d4. And e5 is sort of a threat here, so I was going to go queen c7. I get my queen out of the line of the rook, and I cover the e5 squared. And I think my position is pretty good. So, yep. Bishop g5 doesn't really concern me that much. I'm just going to castle. And if rook ac1, I'm going to go queen b8. And the point is my queen still controls the e5 square, and I'm also getting the queen out of the line of fire of the rook on c1. So I think all is good so far. I wasn't punished for my first 3 moves being pawn moves. But, yeah. So I don't know what White's plan is here. Maybe bishop h4, bishop g3 to sort of kick my queen off this diagonal, because it's really hard for White to make some real progress here on the king side. Okay, so a3 is sort of a pass. I'm going to go rook f d8. I'm going to also just improve my rook and give a pass myself. Bishop b1, okay, not so special. I'm going to go bishop d6. Just threaten, basically just threatening the h2 pawn with check. And the idea is if h3 is played, I'll go bishop h2 check, and then bishop f4, and try to trade those dark squared bishops. Yep, so now I'm going to go check, or bishop h2 check. The reason I'm doing this intermediate move is sort of to push the king further away from the middle. That might be useful in some endgames, and it also takes the king away from defending the f2 pawn, and then bishop f4. And now I sort of cleverly trade the bishops and get my queen to some of these dark squares on white's king side, which sort of look a little bit loose now that the h3 move has been played and the dark square bishop is gone. And yeah, I like the chances here. Oops. So knight f3, okay. And does that, maybe that threatens e5. So yeah, I think it does. So I'm gonna play rook. I'm gonna play knight e5, just sort of, and then if hopefully my queen can be a really effective blockader on that square. Queen takes e5. And yeah, I think I still like my position. My pieces are a little bit more active, and my queen is really doing a great job blockading the e5 pawn, or the e4 pawn. And okay, queen e3 is sort of has this idea of playing f4, and I'm gonna do something kind of bold, I think, but sort of interesting as well. I really want to play g5, and I'm wondering if it's any good. Thing is, I can also play queen h5. I'm gonna go g5. It's probably not the best move, but it just sort of keeps my queen blockaded effectively on the e5 square. And yeah, not many complaints here. I wonder though if queen b6 is a threat. Now that I'm looking at it. Okay, rook fe1. I'm happy to see that move because it removes the rook from the open file. So, yeah, now I'm gonna I want to try and double my rook somehow. Yeah, I'm gonna go rook d6 and then rook c d8 and just double those rooks. And the thing is I still have really good dark square control, so that's basically why I'm doing this. If I get the chance, I think I want to go rook d4 or something. All right, so queen a8 attacks my my bishop, but not the end of the world. I can just go rook d7 maybe. Can I go rook d7? Yeah, I'm gonna go rook d7. And now I'm threatening bishop takes e4. And queen b6, okay. Sort of putting pressure on my queen side. I'm going to play a prophylactic of king g7. And the idea is just to get my king off the 8th rank just to protect myself from some checks, which can be pretty useful. And then it's like a pass. Yeah, and then queen e3, I'm going to make another pass. I'm going to go h6, and the idea is just show me what your plan is, because I don't see what your plan is, and I can make these useful moves. And now bishop c2, okay, that's okay, but I'm going to go rook d4. And, yeah. Knight e2, uh-oh, my rook's got to move. Go rook d7 back. Knight g3, and go h5, just kick this knight away. Queen f3, h4, yeah, just keep pushing. Knight check, takes, queen takes. And okay, Okay, I still have really good control now, and now I can actually, I think, take the second rank, so this is not looking good for white. Rook takes f2, and I think I'm just going to break through on the second rank now. This bishop on b1 is so bad because it has no scope at all, so unfortunately I can just collect on the second rank, and really this e4 pawn is a weakness as well, so now I'm just playing Pac-Man with the pawns. Although I did miss this move, rook f1, but I think I can cover myself with f6. Uh-oh, queen e7 is sort of a nasty threat. I was hoping for e5 because now I have this very nasty these very nasty checks, and I think that should be it. Check, check, checkmate. Close call at the end. I allowed this queen to get a little bit too active, but I wasn't really punished for my first 3 pawn moves. Like if we look back here and just see. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because white doesn't know my first 3 moves are going to be pawn moves. But I basically just got a queen's gambit accepted position, which is pretty favorable. Just as a word of advice here, after b5, the bishop really doesn't belong on d3. It should go on e2 instead. The reason for that is usually you want this d file to be a little bit more open so that when you play rook d1, there's more of an effect. And also the bishop sometimes transfers from e2 to f3. So putting it on d3, you sort of take away those possibilities. So, and yeah, and I sort of got this. I think black is already fine here, and yeah, it was just a game that I won. So next, oh my gosh, I'm playing this guy again. All right, so 3 pawn moves. So I'm going to start with e3. I can't be punished with that. And then d4, that's another pawn move I can't really be punished with. e4, okay, and then c4. Okay, and now I've made my 3 pawn moves. And it's almost like a French, actually. It's almost like a reverse French position. Except, I don't know. I think this is I'm a little bit skeptical of black's setup. Because it looks like I might get the 2 bishops for nothing if he takes on c3. Yep, I have him. And I think I have good central control as well, so I don't think this is very justified. And bishop f4, bishop f5 is a move I think is also a mistake, because now I can go g4. And the point is I haven't committed my king to that side, and now these pawns can become very annoying, because now I'm going to go h4 and actually threaten to trap the bishop on g6. And it's very uncomfortable now, because I have the 2 bishops, I have these pawn moves opening up the position, and tough to play. And yeah, now I think I can go g5 if I want. But do I want to? That's the question. Or I can go h5. It's very attractive, by the way. g5 or h5? g5 or h5? I have a hard time making a decision, so I'm just gonna do something else. Play b4, and I can decide later. Just develop my pieces. Okay, a5. I just go b5, take a little bit more space. And I'm going to put my bishop on b2, and hopefully it's going to bear down on that diagonal and maybe hit d7 one day. c6 I think is trying to play d5, but I'm going to play d5 myself and not allow that. I really want my bishop to get to this diagonal, so okay. C takes b5, I'm going to play knight takes b5. Just sort of, because now if knight d7 is played, I can play knight takes d6 maybe. Although I did give up the d3 square in the process, which maybe wasn't the smartest thing to do. But okay, bishop b2, knight c5, that was expected. And now g5. And I think I'm first in terms of attacking, because now once this knight moves, I might be able to play queen d4, and that's a very, very nasty battery against the g7 pawn. So I think I'm okay here. But, I don't know, I think I might have botched it a little bit. Because maybe knight d7 was still strong because of queen d4, knight e5. So knight h7, alright, well, I think I want to just threaten checkmate. No one got hurt doing that. So queen d4 threatens checkmate. f6 is forced. I think I'm going to take it. Because now I can open the G file. Now the G and H file are open, and my king hasn't committed itself there. So, yeah. And knight b3 is a little bit of a mistake. Fell for it. I think I might have f7 check. Do I? But then he has f takes. This is a tricky position. I really want to sack my queen. I want to play f takes g7 and sack my queen. I think I'm going to do it. And yeah, and now the point is I'm going to take on f8 with check first, and then take this knight somehow. I think bishop takes d4, and I have a lot of pieces for the queen, and the open file. Basically I have a bishop and a rook for the queen, but more importantly, black's king is so naked that I think I can just, if I bring one rook to the one more rook to the king side, I'd be in good shape. So I'm going to go king d2. And I realize I'm sort of blundering the f2 pawn, but the point is that I can go rook af1 if queen takes f2 is played. And then the queen is actually lacking squares. So I think this is just losing for black, unfortunately, for my opponent. North Hampshire. Oh, I think I just played again. That's crazy. It's weird that you're in the 5-minute pool and you play someone twice in a row. And it's also a bit tough if you lose to that person twice in a row. So, okay, so knight f6 doesn't really do anything. I'm going to just put more pressure. I'm going to play rook ag1, pinning this king. And then and yeah, I think I have a lot of opportunities here. Yeah, if like king f7, I might go rook h4 and then go rook f4 to pin. And my king is totally safe on d2, surrounded by all these minor pieces. So, looking good. King f7, okay, we expected that. What next? I think I'm going to go rook h4, like we talked about. And just go rook f4. I'm also threatening bishop takes f6 maybe, and then rook f4 check, winning the queen. But rook f4 in all these lines is just pretty much it. So yeah, I'm really happy the guy actually took my queen, because after f takes g7, he could have just moved the rook away. Fortunate, blessed. It's really cool when you have a winning position, because like, it feels great, of course, but it's also like you just sort of relax a little bit. And it's sort of like the nice thing about having a winning position, but it's also a bit risky, because usually when you relax is when you let them back in the game. But North Hampshire resigned, and or maybe it's North Hampshire, because it's an English guy. That was a bad English accent. Yeah, tough one to play. Okay, I made my 3 pawn moves, just to recap: e3, d4, c4. And then bishop b4 was really ill-advised on black's part. You really don't want to be giving anyone the 2 bishops, but you don't want to be giving me the 2 bishops as quickly, if I may say so. And then I got a little bit aggressive, and I think it was justified, because I have these nice control of the center, and now I have good control of the flank. And this e4 pawn was a little bit weak, so I was just putting pressure on those minor pieces that black is protecting it with. And yeah, I basically got a pleasant position. d5 I think was a mistake, actually. I got away with it, but the reason it was a mistake is because it allowed black's knights access to the c5 and e5 squares. And that shouldn't have happened. And from there, the knight got to c5 and got some chances. But, oh, sorry, I skipped a little bit too far. But I just want to go to this position when I actually give up my queen after knight b3 and play f takes g7. He should not have taken my queen. This knight on b3 is by far the most active piece. Black could have maybe gone rook f7, and then this g7 pawn is actually serving as a protector of black's king. So I still think white would have been better anyway, but after knight takes d4, I'm pretty sure it's just losing because I just have too much material here, and the black's king is just too naked. So, yep. So I'm going to hit the Q again, and finally a new guy. Giovanni Zhao. Okay, so I have to make 3 pawn moves. So e4, I'm going to go c6. Can't really get too punished there. There's a little bit of lag. c6, knight c3. I'm going to go g6, and 1 more pawn move, and I'm okay. So, and d4 and d5. And this setup is actually called the what's it called? It's like a Georgian. It's like the Gurganitsa. Yeah, the Gurganitsa variation. And basically the idea is to sort of play on the light squares. It's a light square strategy. I think they play h5 here sometimes, so I'm going to try that. The point is, it's sort of like a hybrid of a Carol Khan and just a modern defensive g6. And yeah, now I think f4 plays into my hands, because I go bishop g4 with tempo, and then after knight f3, now I can go e6, or I can actually delay it, but I think I'm going to go e6 right away. And the point is that I get my sort of quote-unquote bad bishop out of the light squared pawn chain, and yeah, just pretty pleasant. What to do? Oh, I don't have time to think like this, do I? I'm going to go knight d7. And basically, at some point, I'm going to build up for the c5 break. That's my plan, to build up for a c5 pawn break. Should have happened already, but I'm not sure. So, I'm going to go a6 just to cover the b5 square. And I'm preparing c5 the best I can. That's what I want. And white is having a hard time coming up with a plan because queen e1 doesn't, to my eye, make a whole lot of sense. I don't know what the plan is. You can't actually put a piece on h4s because I'm covering it 3 times. So, okay, knight d1. Okay, making a little bit more sense. But I'm going to go, I think it's a good time to go c5 now. It's just opening up a little bit. And okay, c3, now rook c8. I'm happy to see these moves because rook c8 is a little bit conciliatory. Knight e3. Huh. What should I do? It's like bishop takes f3. I can't. I sort of want to take this d4 pawn. I think the 2 bishops matter less here because my pawn structure is so solid. So that's sort of my justification for taking. And after c takes d4, I expect knight takes f5 to be played. Yeah, and now I'm going to go g takes f5, and I have the open g file to work with. Or that's my hope at least. And you might say, oh, white has the 2 bishops, but I think I have pretty good control here. And yeah, the light squared bishop for white might be something nice, but but here there isn't really any targets for the light squared bishop, so I feel like it's not such a strong piece. whereas my knight on c6 can hit the pawn on d4. And I think that's ultimately what's going on here, is that I have the opportunity to put pressure on a lot of these for essentially these queenside pawns. So queen b3 is a good move, putting pressure on my putting pressure on my b7 pawn. And I don't really want to go b5, so I'm going to go queen c7. And I think I might play king f8 at some point, just to move my king a little bit away and just connect my rooks. Just go king f8, king g7. I'm a little bit happy to see h3 because now g3 might be a potential weakness later. Oh, and I'm very happy to see rook c1 because I actually think I'm going to go for the 2 rooks for the queen. And then just go back and protect the b7 pawn. Although I might have missed something because queen b6 and queen a7 might have been annoying. All right, so g4 is I don't think it's good because now I can go en passant, and white's king side is open a little bit more. I don't think white should be playing on that side of the board. I think the pressure is somewhere on the queen side, but what do I know? Because now I still have a really solid pawn structure, and I think white's king is really weak. So I'm just essentially going to just try to take advantage of it. Hit this pawn on d4 first, and then maybe go knight b4, maybe just connect my rook somehow. Queen b6 is not as strong anymore because I have bishop d8, and now there might be some violent discoveries. Go king g7. My king's really safe here, and I connect my rooks finally. But now maybe my rook on h8 just wants to stay on the h-file. I mean, that's also, the rook is opposite the king right now, and it's doing a good job. So it's preventing h4. It's just eyeing the h3 pawn. And right now, I'm actually threatening knight takes e5 discovery against the white queen on c5 because my rook is protected by the bishop on d8. So white's going to have to retreat the queen or figure something out to solve that discovery. And once I take control of the c-file, which I think I will be able to do, that's going to be lights out. So looks like it's going to be another win in the books. And I'll take it. I will definitely take it. All right, so queen a3 gets out of the discovery, but it actually doesn't defend the d4 pawn, so I'll take it. And now I'm threatening rook c2 check as well. So queen a3 couldn't have been the most tenacious way to play. And I think bishop d1 has to be played just to stop rook c2 check. Yeah, but I don't think this stops rook c2 check, unfortunately, for black. So I can also throw in bishop e7 first. I think I'm going to do that. Or maybe not. Maybe rook c2 check. Just see where black goes. Oh, white goes. Bishop h4. Okay, now it's lights out because I have bishop h4. This is very, very tricky pin. And now rook takes f2 can't be stopped, and I'm going to win more material, and that's it. Yeah. So solid game. I think it was a little bit. If we recap, it was a little bit sort of playing into black's hands in this Gurganitsa setup by just playing f4. It might be a move, but I don't know. I don't think allowing bishop g4 is. I don't think one should allow bishop g4. So once my bishop got out the chain, and then I had this comfortable sort of development, Sure, white had better control of the center for now, but white didn't have any future pawn breaks, and as I like to say, no pawn break, no plan. Now white's pieces were all huddled behind the pawns, but not really doing anything. And you could sort of see that he didn't have a plan because he played queen e1 and knight d1, and it just wasn't good enough. So, yeah. Next, F. Okay, so now we get someone pretty strong in IM, and I said 3 pawn moves, so I'm gonna start with e3 again. You can't really go wrong with that move in terms of can't really get punished. And then d4, my second pawn move, and now my third pawn move is going to be c3. And this is not at all ambitious. It's just a triangle setup, and it's just a solid setup. Not really going for a big advantage here, but okay. Not every game you can play with a big advantage. So bishop e2, and this is sort of a King's Indian defense, except my pawns really are badly placed, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I would prefer my pawn to be my pawns to be on c4 and e4, my knight to be on c3. So e5, I'm going to go a5, and the idea is just to take a little bit more space on the queen side. And now e4, okay, I don't mind that totally. I'm just going to go knight g5, hit the e4 pawn, and okay, d5 is okay. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to go b3. And the idea is just to play bishop a3. And what can I say? I think black is probably doing really well, but at the same time, I'm not doing awfully. Yeah, I mean, my knight can come to f4. The important thing is I haven't committed my king to castling kingside, so I'm sort of waiting to see what black is trying to do before I take any action. And okay, c6 attacks my a5 pawn, so I just go bishop b4, protecting that. And I think my position is okay. Like, I don't mind it at all. I think I have good central control and good... Now my knight's coming to f4, and I don't mind it. I'm just going to sort of maneuver and wait to see. Knight e6, I think I have to take this one. And then I just need to make a few more improvements, and I should be fine. So I'm going to go knight f1. And the idea is just to sort of shift my knight towards the king side. In an ideal world, I'd love my knight to get to f4, but I don't see an easy way to make that happen. I expected this, h5. And now I'm going to go h3 or h4. Or, I'm going to go h3, just to sort of cover the g4 square. And again, I have not committed my king to the king side, so that's a good thing, very good thing. Okay, I can't say. I mean, I guess black is trying to go f5. Go queen. Maybe knight, maybe trying to prepare c5. I'm gonna go queen c1, and the idea is that is to go queen a3 and to sort of clamp down on the c5 break. Although I think I just allowed it anyway. Ooh, I underestimated this, because now I couldn't play bishop takes c5 because of this fork. So knight takes c5, yeah, this is a bit more difficult than I thought. So now I think I have to defend, yeah, this is a bit tough. I'm going to go rook d1. I have to defend the d3 square, and defend against this pesky knight d3 check. Okay, now takes, rook takes, bishop e4, okay, good move. I might be in a bit of trouble here, because now the c3 is being hit, and I don't have such a great way to deal with that. Also, d4 is a threat. Rook d1 or rook d2 is the question. I think I'm going to go rook d1. I hope now I can sort of get a knight, move my knight to d2 or g3 and then castle. But I lost the thread playing queen c1 and queen a3. I should have done something a little bit more clever. Wow. Queen g5 is really strong because now it's hitting my g2 pawn. If I go knight g3, there's rook takes e3. Not looking good. Oh boy. How do I defend g2? I can't even do it. I can go rook g1, but man, that's an ugly move. I'm sure to lose this one. This one I don't even remotely deserve. Yep, bishop takes h3, good move. Oh, queen d2. But now bishop takes g2. I'm going to stop talking because I'm really low on time. I'm just going to try and claw a little bit. Let's see where that gets me. Because now the material's equal, and black has the two bishops and my king in an overwhelming position because my king is still stuck in the middle. Tough, 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 tough. Nice move. And I'm going to resign here because I lose a piece. Very good play against Pulvetted. I think I had a pretty reasonable position, actually, even with my pawn moves. Somewhere around here, though, all this is okay. I don't think I have a horrible position here at all. Because this a5 move was really, really advantageous for me because now all the dark squares on the queen side for black are really weak. And so I actually have, this is a pretty significant gain on the queen side. The issue really came here when in this position where right here I played queen c1. That's wrong. That's bad. Actually, in this position, a better move would have been to play bishop d6. Now that the knight has blocked the queen from the d6 square, I can go bishop d6 and then relocate my bishop to the queen side, to the king side with like bishop d6, bishop h2, or something like that. And I would have sort of corrected a little bit of my pieces. So I missed that opportunity. And queen c1 is actually one of the worst moves I can make without blundering a piece because rook c8, and now I've lined up my rook against this queen, and there's no way I can stop c5. And that's what happened. Queen a3, I compounded it, now c5, and if I take with the bishop, there's knight takes c5, and then after d takes c5, bishop takes c3, check. Hits my rook on a1 and my king that's still undeveloped. So castling is still very important, and no doubt it was here. I'm going to go one more game, and then we'll wrap it up. But yeah, against some of the tough guys, I definitely get punished with some of the lackadaisical moves, but it's all good. we will live to fight another day, or in this case, just another game. But yeah, losses don't bother me. I mean, they bother me like I don't want to lose, but losses used to bother me a lot more when I was younger, and now I think I'm able to move on quicker. And I think that's a sign of a better chess player, actually, because you have to sort of have a short memory sometimes. It's I don't know. It's almost like being a field goal kicker in the NFL. Like if you miss game-winning kicks, you're just going to be ripped apart. I mean, they don't really think you're an athlete anyway. So when you fail at the job that you're sort of have the responsibility of doing, well, it feels bad. But you have to shift and think about what went wrong. How can I be better? And that's where the improvement comes in. So, it's important. Okay, Nerf guns. Cool name, Nerf guns. So e4, so 3 pawn moves. So I'm going to go g6. And then d6. And then a6. And this is sort of the modern defense. So f4, now I can go bishop g7, and then in many of these setups, you actually delay the development of the g8 knight. That's sort of the point, is that it can't get hit with e5. And in some instances, white wants to go bishop e3 and then queen d2 and bishop h6. And that can't happen if the knight stays on g8 a little longer. So that's typically why the knight stays on g8 a bit longer. Here, f4 has been played, so queen d2 and bishop h6 is not really in the cards right now, but still, I'm going to delay the development of the knight. And now here I'm going to do it. I'm going to play it here, knight f6. And because now I'm actually threatening b4, or I think I am. And yep, and then e5 I don't mind seeing because now I have knight d5. And the point is I was hitting the bishop as well, so he sort of was looking to trade. And my bishop is doing well on d5. It's a good blockading square for it. So knight d7. The one danger is that I don't want to be overrun with by f5, and that's a bit scary. But I think I'm controlling the e5 square enough that it's not a big danger. So a4 is a good move. I'm going to just play c6, just shoring that up a little bit. And really, I want a castle. That's I've done a little bit of dilly-dallying, not castling the past few games. I want a castle. All right, so b3 is threatening to play c4, track my bishop. I can't let that happen, so I'm going to play b4 myself. So that I have c4 now, I can go en passant. Or en passant. It's French, yeah. I actually took French for a few years in college, but oh my god, it was awful. I didn't really want to learn it. It's tough to learn something when you don't want it. So knight g5. All right, so now these are sort of malicious intentions. I think f5 is in the cards. I got a castle now. I'm just going to castle. And I think I'm okay here. But it's really dangerous because these pieces are hovering around my king, and queen g4 I was a little bit concerned about. But I didn't act on that concern, so was that smart? We'll find out. So f5, if I go f5 here, does he go en passant and knight takes? Yeah, I'm going to go f5. Just try to blockade the I'm just going to try to set up a light squared blockade against white's light squared bishop on d3, because that bishop on d3 was the most powerful piece that bothered me. I don't think the queen and knight can checkmate me by themselves, so I can just go h6 here, and no big deal, no checkmate. Knight f3, okay. Oh, knight h4 is a sort of a nasty idea here. Knight h4 is nasty, nasty, nasty. Wow. Wow, 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 that's nasty. I'm going to go king. Oh, can I even do anything about it, though? No, king h7. Protect. Yep, I expected that. And now I'm going to go e6, because now g4 is a threat as well. And I realize that d6 is hanging, but if he takes on d6, I think I can just go knight f6 and recover the pawn at the right time. The problem here is g6 looks really, really, really soft. Let's go rook g8. I'm just going to try and move my piece around to cover this this g6 square. Wow, knight takes g6 tactics. Now I don't see anything that's winning. It just looks scary. I mean, if I go king takes, and then king takes g6, f takes, g takes f5, check. I don't see mate. As long as I don't see mate, I think I'm gonna keep going, because okay, I can't go back to h7. I'm gonna go to f7. And now I have at least I have a threat of my own. I'm threatening some bishop discovery check. But it's not looking pretty, I give you that. So king f8. And I'm still threatening a discovery check, so that's my hope. But this doesn't look pretty. How to deal with this? I'm going to try and trade queens. Queen e8. They say if you're at material, you trade. So that's what I'm trying to do. And if f6, I'm sort of asking for it. I'm just going to give up the piece back, play knight takes f6, and get a piece for 2 pawns, and live to fight. So that's my hope. I think it'd be stronger for white here to play rook g1, or that king e2. Interesting. Well, now the idea is f takes e6 and then f5. Yikes. This guy's giving it to me good. So I'm going to take on f5, just so that the bishop is in the way of the pawn. And then I'm going to have to move my knight somewhere. And I'm down on time. Okay, a5, good move. Knight. And of course my knight has nowhere to go. Perfect. Perfect. Got to give it back for something, so I'm going to go bishop knight c4. But this is a losing position, no doubt. Knight c4, b takes c4, bishop takes c4, check. The king can actually just move, because if I ever take the rook... Oh, okay, this is... I would love to see c takes d3 right now. Okay. And, this is not looking good. At least my one piece that's active is my queen, but nothing else, so you can't win with one active piece. And this is just winning. Queen f5 check. Or queen e7 mate. I missed the mate in one. Good game, Nerf guns. I basically just underestimated this attack, and it was well executed by white. in this particular position, I should have already been a little bit concerned of knight g5. And I sort of dilly-dallied a little bit playing knight d7, c6, and b4. These are not great moves. And then queen g4, I already had to be a little bit more careful, and, well, I wasn't. So, anyways, thanks for checking out the games and watching, and I'll be back soon.